Hey everyone, this is T Ryder from WCR.com. This audio has been copyrighted 2005. It is our audio, you cannot take it, so that's that. Today I'm going to be doing, I'm going to do two games for you. First I'm going to be doing a game that I played on Euro a bit ago that I thought was a pretty cool game. Obviously I won if I thought it was a cool game, so no, look who I beat, because yep, I beat this guy. So he was like 42 on Euro, I don't know, and it's a pretty cool game, and I want to show you that. So, the time I want you to get it to is 1 minute. Go in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So identical build orders. Obviously, I'm a little faster with my altar, but I'm a little later with my burrow. So my hero's only going to be a little bit ahead of his, but it really doesn't matter whose hero is a second faster. This game is going to really highlight how you're going to play Echo Isles. There are two ways to play it. There's a Farseer Firelord Tower Rush way to do that, and that's very effective, but the problem with that is it gives you such an early game disadvantage, and if the Blade Master just harasses your workers when you come to tower, and they just, focus your heroes, chances are you're going to lose, because the towers won't get up, and they're going to own you, because they're going to have like a level 2 or 3 Blade, you're going to have like a level 1 or 2 Farseer, and they will have items unlike you, so you really don't want to do that on this map, I think. Even though it can be effective versus some of the better players, or even decent players. So anyway, we both obviously are training Blade Masters. I think that'd be kind of like a no shit because of all the items, and I just went over why. So I get my blade out, and this is Euro, so I have huge lag, like 2.5 second lag. Anyway, if you notice, I use Windwalk right off the bat, and you're like, wow, you're not gonna be able to get to anything in time to have that Windwalk cash in, but here's what happens. A lot of times, the people will go straight for their fountain, for their Renegade Wizard, and if you use Windwalk, get that 10-15% movement speed bonus. I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's 10, but could be wrong. You will actually get there in time to steal the kill if they decide to creep that. So, just something you may want to look out for in the future. But anyways, I decided, I'm going to creep it anyway. Luckily for my opponent, he did a really good creep order to counter this. He crept a green, and let Grunt finish it just in time for his blade to come in and Windwalk and steal the Renegade Wizard, and I have no chance of getting the item because I'm playing Euro, and there's like 2.5 second delay. There's really not much chance in there for me to get the item. I can't even click it, much less even have a chance of getting it. So he steals the kill, Ring of Protection +3. He has already 2 items, and level 2, I am level 1 with 20 experience, and my Grunts have crept out, now 40. At this point, things aren't looking that great, but in Orc Mirror it's very important to always stick with it because you never know. There's been some crazy things that have happened before. So now I'm gonna stick here and try and wait out for some creeps, but it's not going so well, and I'm taking some damage. So I decided to give up on that, and I decided to go ahead and head out to I don't remember exactly where I go to play the game. Oh, I think I go check out the small camp that he just crept, because I like to get those items pretty easy to get with a blade, but he already crept it, so obviously I couldn't get to it. Anyway, he lets his Grunts finish out creeping the fountain, and he goes over to my fountain, which I am just now creeping, and he will definitely get there before me, because I'm going to go creep my green, I believe. So, another pretty bad decision for me, or not so much decision, just more like luck for him, because early game with Blade Masters, there's a lot of luck involved as far as creeping patterns go, but it's always good to just make sure you play smart and try not to lose any Grunts, and I have a very poor beginning of the game. So he comes into the fountain and he sees that clause of +9 hanging out. He goes ahead and he picks that up, and now he has a clause of +9. He has 3 items. I create a smaller camp, and I get a good item too. It's Gloves of Haste, yeah, and that'll help me out, but much rather would have had that clause of attack +9 that increases your DPS by a lot more than a Gloves of Haste does. So yeah. So now I come in and I'm gonna try and heal up, and he's gonna try and pick off some Grunts because they're fairly weak, and he knows he can. I already have I have a 1 week Grunt running, yeah. And so the deal now is I'm Windwalking, chilling out the fountain. I'll probably go get that Agility too in a bit. But anyway, so I have 2 weak Grunts in my base, and that's unfortunate because he has a level 2 blade, almost level 3, and that's going to allow him to pick off a lot, and you always want to do that with your Blade Master. If you have a level advantage, and you force them to, away from their fountain, go into their base and just pick off weak whatever, because there isn't much they can do to stop you. So I get us around, but he barely has enough mana, and he gets away, and he kills that grunt. At this point, things are not going that hot for me, and that clause of attack +9 allows him to two-shot it. But I'm still gonna stick this one out, and so I'm creeping out my fountain, and he's finished out his fountain, and now he's gonna go creep out his green, I believe. Yep. So the food count right now is 40 to 31. So I have a 3 grunt disadvantage. I lost 2 grunts, and the gold from the gold from the creeps probably makes up for that other grunt. We both are getting our shadow hunters now. They get out just about identical timing because we do the identical tech. So now at this point, I really want to harass him and maybe try to gain back some of that disadvantage I lost, or gain some advantage over him that he already gained from the early game. And he's gonna go ahead and creep both here at the same time. And I got minimized, so yeah, I'll be a little bit behind, like 1 second though, so it's not that bad. Anyway, so whenever you get your shadow hunter, you want to go and creep jack because hex is really nice for picking off grunts. Even if they have it. It's just, you can pretty much trade units, maybe even get an advantage. As for hero levels, I'm definitely at a disadvantage here, but it doesn't really matter as much as you'd think it would. So I pick off a weak grunt, and he goes to hex and pick off my shadow hunter, but that gets away, I believe. Oh no, he hexes it again, and then the blade will come in from behind with a windwalk, and he'll finish him off. But I'm still, picking off units. I have much smaller army, but he isn't building right now, but neither am I. We have pretty much the same food, actually, so it's not that bad. I pick off 2 grunts, I think. Yeah, I got 2 grunts for a shadow hunter. So, again, that's not that bad. That pretty much actually is pretty good for me, because that's 400 gold he lost, and that's only 170 I lost. And only difference is it gave him a little more experience, and I'm already behind by a lot, but overall, it's still a pretty good trade, and I'd take it again if I had it. So, 40 food to 40 food. I managed to come back a grunt there, so that grunt I was down to begin, or 2 grunts I was down to begin with, killed 2 for Shadow Hunter, so I'm pretty much even. I believe he gets this grunt, though, and it puts him up again, and it's very important to realize, who should be ahead here. It really will be able to tell you if they have an expansion, or, what's going on. So he comes out, and I surround him, and I hex him. And he has to TP because he has no mana. He doesn't want to die, obviously. So at this point in the game, we're both tier 2. We're both, getting the unit army choice we want. It's important to creep out the major fountains, the major creeps left. Not just on Echo, but on any map. Like the shop and the mana fountain are pretty much what's important left. But I know I have a small army, so I'm going to go ahead and just creep out some small things first, and maybe let him do it so I can get a good creep jack. Because I know he just used his TP, and he might not have another one. Even though he did buy another one, you never know. So I creep out that small camp, the rest of it, even though I got the item earlier. You notice I have significantly less items, but somehow I have more food. He got a war mill. Then again, so did I, so I don't really know what to say about that. He should have more food than me, bottom line. So now I come in and I see him creeping, and I net some grunts, and then I just focus away from them, because then they're just going to be out of the battle. I pick off a Shadow Hunter, so Shadow Hunter down for him. And this is where the micro gets really intense if you're in the game. It's very important in these kind of battles. You just focus a unit and kill it. If you just attack move, you will die. So you want to net and focus. So my Shadow Hunter goes down because he focused it. But I'm doing fairly well with the rest of the battle. I managed to pick off a unit, his Shadow Hunter to my Shadow Hunter so far. I get another grunt, and it's really going pretty well. The larger army will almost always win. And I have a TP, but I'm doing well enough to the point where I don't want to fight it. So Raiders are definitely a better target to focus than grunts. They're a little less gold, but they die extremely easier. 610 HP. They have medium armor, so grunts are going to do about 150% damage. So if you see raiders in the battle, definitely go for those first, and then it'll disable them from being able to use net as well. So if you look here, I found a pretty good battle. The creeps are now coming into my aid and focusing off that grunt, so even helping me out a little more now. But then I get sucked in there, and the creeps net his raider. So again, more help from the creeps. Now, whenever your blade gets low and they have a Shadow Hunter, you want to be extremely careful, because if they have Hex, then you don't want to be in there with a low HP, because they'll kill you fairly easily. So at this point, I'm going to retreat until I realize he does not have another Hex, and then he levels, so I guess he does. Anyway, so I quickly focus his blade, and realizing it's low, I Hex, and I go for the kill. You always, if a hero is an orange, and you have a Hex, Wind Walk, hit it, and then hit it again, and it won't have enough time to Wind Walk yet, because the reaction time isn't instant, and then Hex. Don't Hex it instantly, because then you might not get the kill. So now he focuses my blade, and he Hexes it, but he's not going to be able to get the kill because I have a Wind Walk, so I Wind Walk away. And now I'm just focusing off Raiders, and I realize that his hero has no TP, so I net it, and I focus that with the blade and the Shadow Hunter, and it goes down pretty easily as well. So if you look there, even though I had a very, very, very poor early game, a solid middle game with a good creep jack definitely made up for that, and allowed me to win some battles. So now I'm just going to kill this final grunt that I can Hex. I have no Raiders, so I can't pick off that fleeing Raider. I didn't have enough mana for Hex either. So now that I have the advantage, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take that, and I'm going to go heal in his fountain. I'm going to check for an Expo first, because if he's expanded, then I can kill it at this point, and always check for Expos. I might have just wanted to use the blade, but the blade needed to heal, so just check with the army real quick. So I check it, and there's no Expo, so I know that his army isn't going to have something, randomly impossible for me to kill. So I'm going to heal in his fountain. That'll force him to stay in his base, and whenever you lose a battle, you're not going to go and put your units out there anyway. So whenever you win a battle like that, you want to press and take advantage of what the map has to offer, especially on a map with 3 fountains like Echo Isles. You can really just, once you win a battle, you can usually win the game. So I would expand now, but I haven't crept it out. And also putting 385 gold, which is 2 units, that even though I have a nice lead, 2 units is a lot to lose. And I know that his Shadow Hunter will be coming out, and his blade will be coming out, and he'll have a decent sized army. So I see his peon go out, and he's probably scouting for my Expo, because even though he's behind, he wants to know if there's an Expo, so that he knows to press or not, because if I have an Expo, it's the best shot to have to press now, otherwise a Expo will kill him. But again, that's not going to help enough. He decided to get a Coda, which might be okay if with good positioning, but unfortunately I come in right as it's being trained, so I can just net it quickly, and he eats a unit, but I just focus it very quickly. And whenever you see a Coda eat a unit, do not Hex the unit, because it will instantly devour whatever is inside it. So just a tip, you don't want to do that. So now I'm just going to focus Raiders, because Raiders are the easiest to kill. He speed scrolls to kill my Shadow Hunter, but I Hex the blade, and I run away. The blade stops following, because Hex, I believe, stops any command orders, like follow or anything like that. Obviously attack, because you can't attack when you're Hexed. And now I just continue to net the rest of his army and focus down whatever's left. I see the blade there, I net him. I believe I go for the... no, I'm going to finish off some Raiders. Right about now I'm going to go for the blade. He has enough for a Wind Walk. He does Wind Walk, but now he decides to attack, I believe. I believe I get the blade. I'm not completely sure, but I remember getting the blade. Oh, maybe I don't. So another Coda comes out and net that and kill that, because at this point it really is over. There's not a lot you can do. There's a difference between having a bad early game and between being down 40 food, 30 food, 30 food. I'm just going to pick off his production buildings. I'm going to try to stay away from burrows, because I've seen some crazy battles won or lost because of burrows. Burrows are definitely good, except versus undead. So 1 HP grunt, but he still kills that, unfortunately. So yeah, at this point in time, I'm just going to stay in his base. I healed my Shadow Hunter up pretty nicely. Now I'm going to bring it back out. I go to the healing fountain, and his blade is there, and he doesn't have mana for a Wind Walk, and I have Raiders, so even if he Wind Walks, I can keep him there. So I just make a surround on him, and then I start to net, because he can Wind Walk, so I net, and then he Wind Walks, because he has the mana, but I keep him netted. And keeping him netted is very important, and I just use the Wind Walk on the blade to, finish him off, a critical strike for the win. And so at this point, he can't win, because he has no bestiary, has way lower food, has to retrain his blade, so he decides to exit here. It says GG in caps, and that's pretty much that. So that's pretty much how you take care of Orc Mirror on Echo. It isn't all about the early game, however, if I'd had that kind of an early game that he had, it definitely wouldn't have been as close later on. early game makes a huge difference, and those claws of attack also make a difference. So I'm gonna log on. I'm gonna play a live game for you now. Oh, gay versus human on Temple. Well, that